how to make easy, high-detailed stone walls, archways and doors. Welcome to the third part of the video series about making your own Gondor mansion. This will take you from the standard brickwork, which you may have already done on your pieces, up to the point where you get these fantastic looking walls, archways, doors, windows, which are really going to complete the look of your Gondor mansion. So let's get into how to do that. Now this next part is entirely optional, but I think it's going to really add something to what the build looks like. So what I've done is I've cut out these arch shapes from some foam. We do not need it to be as thick as this. So I could do this with a hot wire cutter, but I want to show you that it is possible with a blade as well. And you end up with something like this. With the brick detail, you can just have brickwork and it will just look like a building. But with the Gondor mansion that Games Workshop released, it's got a lot more detail in it than that. So my plan is we're going to have the brickwork, but also we're going to have, it's going to be cut as well, but we'll have a couple of these archways like that, which are going to serve as some detail because we'll add some added brickwork. Also going to serve as the door shape and any windows that we want to add as well. So on all of these smaller ones, there's going to be 2 of these, and all of the slightly longer ones, there's going to be 3 of these. Now, if you have decided to cut archways, man, I've cut far too many, but they look a little something like this. But with the wire cutter, they are super easy to just. So this is going to be our what I would call the front door piece. What I've done is marked in 3/4 of an inch from each edge, and that's going to be the perfect distance for these 2 archways to be put in. That's going to be, now there's going to be a doorway here. I'm going to stick this to this first, and then I'm going to use the hot wire cutter to cut out the middle of it. Put some super glue on with this type of foam. This forms a nice solid connection with itself. Hold it down for a couple of seconds and then it should stay in place. Just need a smidge more glue there. Yeah, I can now pick that up. Now I'm going to add some detail to this archway. So the way that I'm going to do that is, rather than with a knife, which I did for the brickwork detail, I feel like the arch would be a little bit more rough and ready, so I'm going to use a biro. So what I'm going to do is just carve out some stone shapes, and I'm kind of digging into the thing, and I'm just going to slowly make these slightly more angled. I don't know much about architecture, but I do know that these tend to have what's known as a keystone, which is kind of that shape in the centre of them, and the rest of them, well, probably not exactly like I've done them, but I think it'll look good enough, because this is going to be good enough scenery. Like that's going to do the same on this side as well. So that's the detail done on both, and I've also cut out the middle, which looks nice and aligned. And to finish this off, I'm going to put another archway on the other side and do exactly the same thing. And because all of these archways have been cut from like the same shape, when you cut it, put it on, it just fits, which just makes things so much easier. I'm also going to put some brick detail on the inside of the arch as well, entirely optional. So this is one end piece completed. A doorway, got some detail on the other side as well. So you can make 2 exactly like this, so on to the other ones. So this is the other upper door piece. Now what I'm going to be doing on this one is actually cutting a window. I'm going to be cutting a few windows. I'm going to be doing them exactly the same on all of them. So the window shape I'm drawing is just 1 centimetre up, so from the first brick, and then I've measured 1/4 of an inch, I think it is, just over 1/2 centimetre in from each edge. And essentially what I've done is I've just tried to kind of make it parallel with this. Any other windows you see on any other pieces are going to be done in exactly the same way. You have a window. And again, I'm just going to unnecessarily add in some brickwork detail. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Shown in some previous videos, and I'm going to do this with the rest of these, but I'm going to add some texture, some stone texture, and get some aluminium foil, put it into a ball, and then you can just literally press down and roll this. And on these types of one, if you have it into this kind of sausage shape, then you can use the kind of thinner end to get into thing, or ideally you do it first, but I forgot. Now, just like on those walls, got more of these which should be placed on the inside and outside of these. That's all of the arches added, and just like on the other ones, I'm now going to cut a couple of windows. I'm going to take one of our archways from previously and work out exactly where that is going to go, and once that's done, to draw around the inside of that, because this bit here is going to get cut out. I'm going to go for the hot wire cutter in this instance. That looks something like that. I'm going to add some lines in here just to make the brickwork match up, just for completeness. Not really necessary, but you know, you decide yourself what's good enough. And then what I don't know what to do is stick this to make sure these are uniform with the rest of it. So one of the easiest ways to make sure you get these arches uniform is to actually take any of the other pieces you've already done, these lining up here with that, nudge it up a little bit, see exactly where the other ones were, and then place these ones accordingly. So just like with the last piece, I'm going to draw an outline of where it needs to be cut out, cut that out with a hot wire cutter, and then I'm going to stick these on, and then that'll be that one finished. Done some rolling of the aluminium foil inside of that just because, and I added the stonework lines as well, but that's that piece finito. And there we have the final two wall pieces for the first two floors. So it's taken a while, but both sides of all of the pieces have been painted. Next up, we're going to do some dry brushing, which takes it from looking like this to looking like that. Cheap white paint, dab that with this makeup brush. Now this isn't a strict dry brush, it's just getting a lot of the paint off of it. And then I'm just going across it lightly and just letting the white paint just hit the raised areas that have been created by rolling it in the foam, and any other kind of scoring marks that I put on. There you have it, just bringing that to life so much more. Putting it all together has made me realise two things. Number one, it doesn't make any sense for there not to be arches here and a couple of other places on the other side. So I'm gonna make some more arches. So this now is every single wall piece you will need in order to make your Gondor mansion. There's obviously other pieces to make, but the walls, they're completed now with archways, doors cut, windows cut. This is what you should be able to do. Ready to be stuck together and then based.